Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Ovie. I'm back again with another video for you. And today's video, I promise you, is going to be something very interesting. June 4, 2023, I became 29 years in marriage. 29 solid years in marriage. Come on. The Lord has been good to us. 29 good years of being married to a very beautiful woman, my bestie, my friend, my prayer partner, my gugwe, that butter waiting for my bread, that bombita, you know the system now. So that what she needs to hear. So I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to all the men, people, church people, and everybody, my children. Everybody has been gracious to us. God takes all the glory. So I've come to share with you in these 29 years the lessons I've learned. I can't share everything. I don't know everything. I just want to share with you the little I can remember. And maybe just say the most, not necessarily the most important, but just what I've learned over the years. It's going to help you in the marriage. So I need you to sit down, listen, take notes if need be, and just enjoy with us as I share our experiences. I mean, the things I've learned. I wrote something down here that will surely help you or help so that I don't just ramble over the place. But you also know that I will also add that if you have not subscribed to this channel, I beg you now, subscribe. I know they charge money, and then like, comment, share what we are going to do today with others. And other videos I have done that you find interesting, please always comment. There is not anytime the way you comment, why I not answer you. So please let's just get this community going. This is a family. So let's get into the matter without wasting more time. Before I go into this proper, I have to let you know I'm not a marriage counselor. I don't have a certificate for marriage counseling. I learned along the way. When I got married, I wasn't born again. So all the things that come with not being born again. The thing what is small, but I have a patient wife, a godly woman. So I appreciate God. So I'll just share the things I have learned, and maybe someday, if Madam agree, I'll bring her onto this video. Maybe we'll do some marriage talk. So I'm not a marriage counselor. I'm just somebody who wants to share what he has learned as we went on the journey. Secondly, as we go into this, I need you to forget everything you've watched on TV. I need to forget all the things you read on romance book, because when it comes to marriage, is the real deal. It not be like that thing where you read. Is far from it. But thank God for a good wife, like I said before. There were ups and downs. I won't tell you there haven't been ups and downs, but in as much as the two of us committed to our vows, we've stuck to it with the help of the Holy Spirit. So let's get into the meat of the matter straight away. Number one, the most important thing, of course, you know what I'm about to say, is fear God. If the fear of God is in your marriage, you will be marvelously helped. The only thing that has kept us going, especially when the faults, because I made the cause the wahala. Took me a long time. So, but with the fear of God on my wife's side, being patient with me and the Lord, we're able to work things out. So the first most important thing is let the fear of God rule your marriage. And when the fear of God is there, it will affect how you say things. It will affect how you take decisions. The woman you're married to is the daughter of God. You are a child of God, in case you are both born again. If one is born again, you understand. I don't want to go into that, so I don't get off the meat of the matter. Fear God. The fear of the Lord decides and affects the things I tell my wife. The fear of God helps me to judge. When I mean judge here, I don't mean on my side. To weigh situations, to know what to say and what not to say. I learned these things along the way as we went. It wasn't easy in the beginning, but we thank God. So fear of God, very important. Two, if you want to enjoy your marriage, forget about your rights. Marriage is not where you come there and say, yeah, I have accepted your my right. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? I've tried being right. It only led to more arguments. I'm trying to adjust this thing. It only led to more arguments and more problems. You see, in marriage, who is right is not the most important. Because you can be right and be unhappy. And many times I've sat down and I've weighed it. Is being happy important to me or being right? I've tested the waters. Honestly, being happy is more important. So it's not every time you need to say, I am right, yeah, no. Even sometimes when you are right, wisdom demands, let those rights go, let things flow. If you need to talk to your spouse, you can talk later. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So forget your rights if you want to enjoy your marriage. The third thing, I'm not going by any sequence. The third thing is that if there's anything to say, from what I've seen in my own marriage, it is always better let it be direct. Don't let your in-laws know about a matter first before your wife, who is inside the matter, will know about it. Now, this goes both ways, but I'm speaking from my side now. There's nothing wrong if family friends chip in here and there, but you have to limit their input. If there's anything to be said, don't let your wife get outside. Hear it from somebody first before. The smart thing a man should do is sit down with his spouse and discuss matters, take the decision together. Because sometimes I've seen in marriage and counseling situations where a wife says, when I tell him something, he does not listen, but when somebody else says it's outside, he will accept it. That's not fair. You have to be fair. God is fair. So that is how to handle matters. If there's anything to be said, don't let her hear it from outside. Tell her for house. Make her sit down and talk her. Another thing I will also say is never stop learning when it comes to matter of marriage. It is a school we have not graduated from, even after 29 years of being in marriage. You learn each other every day. Before you came together, you were already adults. Habits have been formed. How you do things have been made. And each person has his own personal struggles and experiences. You don't make somebody else suffer because of your own this thing. So you see, there are some things you discover. Now, at the age we are, your body is changing. You are transiting from mother to grandmother, father to grandfather. All those things are in the mix at once. You're not the same, but hip hop pure. Yeah, still hip hop pure, but you get what I mean. So you really, 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 really need to realize that there are some things that you have to make adjustments for. Temperaments may change, but it's still one and the same person. I have things I'm working out, she has things she's working out. At the end of the day, things work out for good for all of us if somebody alone can realize that we all need to keep learning and understanding each other and be patient with each other. I can say that patience have helped me a lot in this marriage, in the sense of my wife has learned to be patient with me, because I take a lot of time to process things, and she's the let's do it. But me, I'm the I'm still thinking about this matter. It has to go like this and all the rest. So I need to sort things out. So when you learn each other, you grow up with each other. You see, one thing I've noticed is that in marriage, you cannot change anybody. Don't go into any marriage saying, don't worry. After I marry him, I will change you. You can't change anybody. You can't change your wife. You can't change your husband. You have to accept them for who they are. If they choose to change on any matter, know that this is the work of God. It's not you. Trying to change somebody is to... Look, you will soon discover that somebody is another person. You can't force somebody to be like me now. She knows. I'm the one that scatters the house. I seem to be able to operate when there's chaos. I tell her, don't tidy my room. If you tidy my room, the problem is I will have problem in finding things. So she leaves my room, lets it be, and just tiptoes around my things, because if you tear a piece of paper, I may have a scripture there I need. So over the years, she has learned and all the rest. And I give her space. I respect her space too. You see, she is the kind of person, if you're going to the airport today, let's say the flight is 6, my wife wants us out of the house by 3:30 or 4. Let us say a.m. Me, I'm the kind of person, when it's 20 minutes to go, yeah. Well, because, I'm a traveler. I travel a lot. Most of you know me very well. The issue is that I find it very difficult to be, once you tell me it's 9 o'clock, anything I'm doing, I'm scattered. I can't operate under pressure. So, but somehow she has understood me. So, you get it. May have a back and forth over it, but eventually. So she has learned I'm a different person. She is a different person. Realize also that in your marriage, it's not your father's house. So whatever template you learn from your mother and your father, it's not going to work here. Your wife is another person. Pastor Ovi is another person. I come from a very large family. My father had 2 wives, and you know what goes with that. And then my wife comes from what we call the traditional nuclear Christian family. So you see, I'm not used to Let us do it together. I learned it in marriage. I'm usual. This is my territory protect. You understand what I'm saying? So, but over time, we have learned how to merge these two different kind of things. The house I come from, you wait for your mom to dish the food, you go eat. The house she comes from, you want to eat? The pot is there, go dish it. In a large family, some people will not eat that day. So I had to learn you can dish your food by yourself if you want. And if you allow me to dish the food by myself, just know that the whole pot is gone. So you see, this is not your father's house. Don't bring your father's, I'm talking about me now. Don't bring what you saw in your father's marriage. I am the man. I'm not, this is not to say something about my parents. I'm just trying to make you understand that. And also the wife's side, your husband is not your father. He may not have the attitude of your father. He may not be, yeah. He may be authoritarian. You see, so both sides, don't bring the attitude of your mother in. You're not like my mother. My mother used to do like this. I never did that with my wife. So if you're expecting your wife to do what your mother was doing, your wife is another person. You have to understand each other and let things roll. Another thing I notice is for a successful marriage, which I've learned is be accountable to somebody. She knows who my spiritual father is. And I thank God by God's grace and mercy, she has never had to call him on any matter to come and sort things out for us. But I've realized that if you're going to get married to somebody, from what I've seen in counseling, there is need for you to marry from the get-go somebody who is accountable to somebody. So that if there are issues, you have somebody who can either call your wife to order or call your husband to order. And I've not had any reason to call anybody to come and call my wife to order. God has been helping us. Now, it didn't mean that we have not had some very, interesting conversations. Oh, yeah? But God has always helped us. We have been able to resolve these matters without too much, you understand what I'm saying? One thing you should not do, never criticize your spouse in the public. I always support my wife outside, no matter what happens. Now, when we get home, we can now sit down and have the, but outside, don't disgrace your spouse. Always stand for your wife. Always support her cause. If she is wrong, apply wisdom. Wait here, talk. Apply wisdom when matter. Get comma. Always support your spouse. I see a lot of men who judge their wife outside. You say things about your wife before your in-laws. You speak down to your wife in presence of your family people, and then you expect people to respect her. That is not right. It's not godly. You have to give regard to her. You have to respect her. That's okay. Assuming your wife is, let us say, Obama's daughter, or let us say Biden's daughter, or Trump's daughter. That you have to give her respect. So how much more when you are married to God's daughter? I say this from the angle of famous. So please respect your wife. Don't criticize her in public. Choose the time to talk to her if things are not right. And like I said before, if there's any matter to be talked about, take her advice. Don't wait for somebody else to say the same thing before you take it. It's disrespectful. Another thing is this, is that know that you are you and she is different. You are your you. She is ha. You are two different people. What I'm trying to say in this regard is that you are different in the sense that don't try to make her perfect for yourself because she's a separate person. Have your own interests. Let her have her own interest. Try as much as possible. Like, I'm very happy God has helped me. My wife is very independent. She's not the cling. You didn't talk to me since morning. You were, oh yeah. No. Why? Because, look, I'm a pastor. I'm committed to the ministry. I don't neglect my home. My wife can tell you that. I have prayers. I have meditations to do. I'm a poet. I do a lot of writing. That gives room for a lot of meditation, introspection. I'm a traveler. Sometimes I'm not in some of them private journey, all those kind of things. So if you are not independent and you are the type that I'm my husband, he has to hold me, he has to talk to me. I can be in the house for about 4 hours. In fact, two of us can be in the house together. She has learned, she is an independent person. She doesn't need me to exist, so to say. She has her own interest. I have my own interest. We have common grounds where we meet. That's a completely different thing. Because if you are not comfortable being alone and being yourself, when I mean alone now, and I'm talking about alone as being lonely, if you're not comfortable in yourself, you will depend on somebody else to ginger you. And if that person does not have your time, you will say he doesn't love you anymore. I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to say. Love yourself enough to be able to stay by yourself, so that you don't be a burden to somebody. They have to carry you along. They have to hold you. Your leg, they have not held it since when you're not. Yeah, love it over, we do that. But if you're not independent and comfortable in yourself, you make yourself a burden to somebody else. Look, I like to read. I can read for hours on end. My wife has her hobbies too. I'm a photographer too. I like to write. I can write for hours on end. If I'm meditating and praying, she knows when I'm doing all those things. She respects my place. And when she's a pastor too, when she's doing her stuff, I respect her place. I say, come on, it's time for me to eat. Go and bring my food. No, sir. It doesn't work like that. The respect you expect from her, give it to her too. The regard you want from her, give it to her. I want her to respect me. Respect her. She's a human being too. I've learned that in marriage, and we're all growing to be a better person. But if you're not okay being yourself, a friend to yourself, you will shift the burden to somebody else. And a lot of people have ruined their marriage because they are not comfortable in themselves. So I don't want this message to go too long. This is just few things. I will do a part 2 of this, and I will talk about more life experiences. But this is what I want to bring in right now to you. And I've learned over time and over space that if God is guiding you in your marriage, it can last. Well, after the 29 years, this thing, we thank God in church. She asked me a question, so how many more years? I said to infinity. She said, yes, in heaven, your mansion will be next to mine. I can come and hang out with you. You can come to my own. I say, oh yeah, we continue the groove from here. I'll show more here. I say, Bill. So I bless you for listening. I bless your marriages too. And those who are yet to be married, I hope you've learned 1 or 2 things. And if you are married, you also learned some things. This is not everything I have learned that I've shared here, but this is something we can start with till I bring you the next part. And like I said, if Madam agrees, we can both sit down here and then answer some Q&A and share experiences. So till next time, when I bring you another message or this thing like this, thank you for your time. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your marriages. God is faithful. See ya.